Origin time in the SRL from Eden Park. It's the Aotearoa Origin one-off game between the Auckland side and the rest of New Zealand, being led out by Damien Moana. Onto this large Eden Park crowd, full packed to the brim here tonight. My name is Logan Strange. I am your play-by-play commentator. Joining me in the commentary box, it's Jack O'Neill. How are we tonight, Jack?
I'm really good, Logan. I am looking forward to this game. We talk about State of Origin, we talk about New South Wales versus Queensland, but I think this rivalry could be bigger. We look at the teams, there's some absolute superstars lining up tonight. Tyler Aotearoa, has been an absolute find for the Cowboys this season. He has lit up the SRL. He's going up against his teammate Damien Moana. There's a bunch of matchups all across the field. You look at Delaney versus Thompson. You look at Logan Strange versus Fitu. There's so many great matchups. I'm looking forward to this one.
Thanks, Jack. It is set to be an absolute blockbuster as the Auckland side will have first possession of the ball in this one. They will go left to right in the first 40 minutes. And we'll quickly go through these two sides as they line up. And as mentioned during the week, there are a few notable changes from the last time these two sides met. And I think, Jack, the most notable matchup we have is Damien Moana, who's shifted back to the number one after spending the start of the SRL season for the Cowboys in the halves, switching back to that fullback position where he possibly could be a pivotal player, and he'll be coming up against arguably the SRL's form fullback, which is Tyler Aotearoa. So that'll be one of the big matchups to keep an eye out on.
Yeah, definitely. For me, Aotearoa is actually the form player of the SRL at the moment, in my opinion. He's been amazing, as that's a huge shot. They've got the ball now. But yeah, he's been phenomenal, but no one knows your game quite like your teammate. So Moana and Tyler, they're always linking up for the Cowboys. I think they'll really have each other's numbers tonight. It's going to be a huge matchup.
So it's Auckland into the rest's territory at the moment. Early option to really put some good points or some pressure on the rest outfit as Aotearoa plays 5'8". Slattery juggles it for a moment, does well to hold on to it. Taken down on the 20 by his opposite. So final tackle now. Wallace will go to White and decides to run it. Jaden White and on the toe, coming through is Fitu. But he was taken down in a good tackle by Chris Lord.
Don't know why Fitu didn't pick that ball up there. He could have picked it up and probably scooted over for a try, but he chose to dive on it. Obviously, the surface isn't quite as slippery as he thought, and that's a really good result for the rest. They defended pretty well in that set, but it was who made that break, sorry? It was Thomas Wallace, wasn't it? That was almost an absolute one of the best plays we've seen in the SRL this season, but they did well to recover the rest.
Mistake for the rest on the second tackle as Auckland will restart through Aotearoa. Breaks through a tackle, breaks through a second, eventually taken down just outside the 20. So another opportunity here for Auckland as White hands on the ball once again, gives it to Slattery. The South Sydney front rower looking to get hands on the ball early as Fitu charges it forward. Makes sure to hold on to this one this time. So 5 metres out, Wallace looks right, goes left to White once again, cut out pass to Aotearoa. And the Warriors centre has gone in for the opening try in just the 5.5 minutes.
Yeah, well, the left centre there for Auckland, he started this great attacking set with a beautiful run off the scrum, and it's great ball playing from Jaden White, and Auckland go in for the first try.
Jaden White making a statement early. Almost putting Fitu through for that try earlier on. Anthony Delaney with the kicking duties for Auckland tonight. A little bit of wind behind Auckland in this first half, and he drags it around and adds the extra 2. So it's Auckland out to an early 6-0 lead here at Eden Park.
Yeah, Jaden White, he struggled a bit this year for Parramatta. They've only had the one win in the SRL in the opening 3 weeks, but he's had a really strong start to this game. It's good to see.
So Jaden White's been partnering up with Charlie Butler in the Eels, of course. News coming out during the week that Charlie Butler, in fact, has been put on notice at Parramatta. So Jaden White may well and truly be finding himself moving into a leadership role within that Parramatta outfit. As Barner takes it forward. We'll quickly go through the rest of those lineups. For the rest, it was Moana at fullback, Johnny Columbus and Joseph Lama on the wings. Joseph Lama still playing for the SRL Mines, but he's making his debut in this Origin match tonight. Cooper Gronk and Tatata Maxwell in the middle. Halves combination, it's the Kiwis pair of Luke Thompson and Levi Raymond. And up front in the engine room, Chris Lord, Connor Jones making a dash out of retirement for this one. Stace the pace. And at the back, it's Sean Bradford, Logan Guys and Logan Strange. On the bench, Rod Curran, Pryor O'Brien, Albie Akarangi and Dan Mitchell. A couple of famous names coming back out of retirement for this one here tonight. While for Auckland, Tyler Anatangi, Bunty Kambolo on the wing after his sensational start to his SRL career. Other wing is Corey Bell, who's the captain. In the centre is Aotearoa, he scored that try to open the scoring. Jai McCartney. In the halves, Anthony Delaney, Jaden White. Up front, Jordan Ford, Thomas Wallace, Rex Slattery. And out the back for Auckland, it's David Barner, Kobe Johnston and Tarangaho Fe'u. Coming off the bench, Abraham Walker, Ben Arnold, Mark Hunt and the ever impressive Chance Bunce.
It's good to see some of those old SRL players, just interrupt you there, sorry Logan, coming out of retirement. You guys like Albie Akarangi, it's good to see. It shows how important this game is to the whole of those players and representing their heritage, so it's good to see. Yeah,
well, there's actually quite a few players who got in contact with the leadership teams of both of these sides, wanting to, you know, maybe seeing it as a bit of an exhibition match, but I think a lot of these players see it more than just an exhibition match. This is pride on the line. This is Auckland versus the rest, and everyone knows here in New Zealand that Aucklanders do get a lot of stick from the rest of the country, so bragging rights are on the line as White once again hands on the ball, puts it on the toe for David Barner, charging towards the line, the Warriors' second rower, but held up well by Logan Strange and Sean Bradford, but Barner almost getting through. Jaden White, though, continuing to terrorise and taking the ball to the line.
He has had an amazing start to this game. His short kicking game has looked lethal, and he's throwing some beautiful passes at the moment.
Chris Lord over the halfway line. They stretch it to the left this time. Bradford take it forward to Raymond. Short ball to Strange, charging onto it. Wallace does well, wrapping the ball up. They stay right. Maxwell.
Better set here from the rest. They're under a bit of pressure there. They can't go into their shells. They've had a really tough start to this game, but they've just got to get back in the grind now, go set for set with
Thompson puts it up. Good kick by Thompson. First chance for the rest to really test that. Auckland back three as Amatangi takes it down well. Diffuses the pass. So both sides really just testing each other out at the moment. Auckland obviously out in front after the first 14 minutes of play. It was Nico Aotearoa open the scoring as Barner once again takes it forward. He'll be a player to really look out for tonight, David Barner. He's a leader at the Warriors side and plays for the Kiwis and has been around since the start of the SRL back in season 1 and really continues to make a statement in the SRL as Delaney puts it forward, taken down by Joseph Lama. His first touch in the SRL. Of course, Joseph Lama's trying to make his way out of the SRL Mines at the moment. He's a possible free agent. And we'll get on to the Mines in a moment, but there's about 15 players set to make their way into the SRL over the coming weeks as this Mines format gets released. As they go inside, and Wallace has come away with that one. So the rest seem to be a little bit nervous at the moment, just pushing it a little bit too far.
Yeah, I think I can agree with that. I think that they've got such an experienced halves combination, Luke Thompson, Levi Raymond. They are the Kiwis combination, like you alluded to earlier, Logan, as there's an interceptor away to that man, Luke Thompson, who I was just talking about. But they need to take control of this team. They need to calm them down, and they need to get back into going set for set with the Aucklanders, because right now they're making silly errors and they're pushing passes.
On the kick going. Hill, clear him.
So that's Jones at dummy half, goes flat to Strange. Heavy defence on him from Fe'u. Wallace up over the top. No way through for Maxwell either. To pace this time. Fe'u once again busy on defence at the moment. Te Rangaho Fe'u. Down to the wing of Bunty Kimbolo. Interesting to see how Kimbolo can, I guess, handle this sort of pressure. This is an Origin, this is his first representative game. Obviously first season in the SRL, but you'd have to say he's arguably one of the top rookies at the moment.
Well, for me, he has potential to be the most dangerous winger in the SRL. He is a very tall human being. He's very good under the high ball, but he's got explosive skills and power as well. Great footwork. He made a lot of the Canberra Raiders defences in round one in his SRL debut look like under 10s players, to be honest. So I think that this is a good step up for Bunty just to see where he is in his career. I'm really excited to see how he goes for the rest of this game.
Hill, 2 hands away.
As we saw Jai McCartney put that one deep down into the rest's territory, and they look to make their way downfield at the moment. Jai McCartney obviously during the week transferring from the Rabbitohs to the Warriors. Looks to have put on a bit of weight in the off-season, to be fair. It's probably good for his type of play. As we see Bradford play the ball. Final tackle here, they go to Raymond, tries to put on the toe, doesn't quite get the kick away. The Auckland defence rushed up on him. And the Kiwis 5'8" found himself under a bit of pressure from Jaden White and Corey Bell, who up in the face there.
Yeah, well, if you look at this game, you could almost say it's a bit of an audition for the next Kiwi game. And at the moment, the Jaden White and Anthony Delaney are outplaying Thompson and Raymond. They need to take control of this game. That's one of those kicks that Raymond just had to get on the boot, had to get away. His side needed that one.
Raymond's had a good start to the season. He's got 5 assists for the Broncos. He's leading the competition, in fact, for try assists. And to be fair, at least 3 or 4 of them have come off the toe, so he knows what he's doing.
He's held there. 2.
On the final tackles. Good defence here from Auckland as Delaney comes up and snatches it from the air and almost gets the hands free as well for Thomas Wallison support. So about 11 metres out here, they go to Fe'u, goes flat to, in fact, Logan Guys has picked up a couple of the Auckland players appealing for Abraham Walker, who was taken out without the ball. But the play will continue. So a little bit of controversy to start this game as Curran goes through the middle, off the bench early, both sides going to the interchange bench in the opening 25 minutes. As Maxwell gets on the end of that one. So just inside Auckland's half, they'll go. They decide to kick early. No, just a little bit of miscommunication. As Strange was caught with the ball deep in the pocket. So final tackle now. Thompson will kick again down to the wing of Kimbolo, who's forced backwards and does well to hold on to it, and a good chase from the rest, and they camp him back down in the Auckland 20.
Yeah, really good result there for the rest. It was a good kick from Thompson and a great kick chase. Just got over the head of Kimbolo, meant he had to turn around, which slowed him down, meant he couldn't wind up like he likes to do on his kick returns. That's a good result from the rest, but they've got to defend this set. They've got to keep the Aucklanders inside their own half.
Yeah, possibly catching him out. A little bit of inexperience from Kimbolo. Not really understanding the power that Luke Thompson has. from the boot,
Oh,
as we
that's
see
bad.
a penalty given away by Rod Curran.
Bad discipline there from Curran. They were winning that set. They didn't need that. They needed to just get the Aucklanders to kick the ball back down to their dangerous back three and start pushing through and trying to get themselves some field position. But they've got to be careful here. The Aucklanders, they got lucky earlier, the rest with that decision not to call a tackle without the ball, but they're really starting to warm into this game, the Aucklanders. They are dangerous.
Out near side, just below us here in the commentary box, Corey Bell, the captain of Auckland, earlier in the week, saying that this is a huge opportunity for Auckland to really solidify their dominance in rugby league here in New Zealand. Obviously Corey Bell given the captaincy for this game, as we see Auckland looking to put more points on the board. Final tackle now. They've got numbers to the right. They come right to White once again, who puts it high. Not a bad kick from Jaden White, but the Aucklanders sort of overrun that. It looks like it was Tyler Aotearoa who didn't time his jump right well, and Moana had no problems taking it down as Gronk gets outside his opposite, which was Corey Bell, as Bradford this time put inside a good hole, tries to get the offload away. Looks like Turangaho Fetu was possibly calling for the ball there.
Yeah, it's disappointing, that one, for the rest. They've done this a few times tonight. They've come up with a really good play and then ruined it with an error. You saw the same with the Luke Thompson kick and chase, which is really good from them, but then they gave away a penalty in that set. They've really got to sort out their discipline.
As Aotearoa gets through one, gets the hands free in Wells, finds Abraham Walker. Just outside the 10 here, they go to Delaney. Cut out pass to Aotearoa, who goes to Bell. Corey Bell, the skipper, looking for the corner. Taken down, a good one-on-one tackle by Moana, but they're about 5 metres out here as McCartney plays dummy half. Fetu puts it on the toe, but once again, it's Connor Jones this time. He's been forced back into his in goal, and they will restart from the line dropout.
Yeah, that's great footy by the Aucklanders. They were some slick ball movement there. Corey Bell almost crashed over, and then an absolute perfect kick there from Fetu, and they get a repeat set.
Corey Bell, obviously, making the move from Manly to the Raiders for season 3, and you'd have to say he hasn't had a big season so far for Canberra. Obviously he's a very high-rated player. Can also play at the fullback position. It'll be interesting to see going forward whether Corey Bell does get a start or a shot at that fullback jumper for the Raiders, as we see Delaney go close. Wallace goes cut out past Tabana. We'll come back to Corey Bell at the Raiders in a moment, as Auckland really good opportunity here as they go back to White once again, the go-to attacking player, the man of the moment, but O'Brien comes away with it. And the rest once again managed to defuse that Jaden White grubber kick.
Yeah, I think the rest can find some confidence out of the fact that they've had no real attacking opportunities, and the Aucklanders have been very dominant, and it's only 6-0. They've thrown a lot at the rest, but they've managed to throw back or to keep them out for most of the game, so they can find confidence there, but they need to get through the rest of this half without any silly errors.
Final tackle now. In fact, Raymond kicks on the 4th. Not a great kick either. In fact, it's bounced backwards, considering kicking into the wind this first half. And you could just see the effects of it there. Raymond not really connecting well enough and didn't get much distance, as we see Barner make one of his trademark runs on that far touchline. About 15-20 metres in from left-hand edge, they spread it wide to Aotearoa. Gets the offload well to McCartney. So Auckland starting to hot potato things at the moment as Delaney decides to cut back inside. Taken down by O'Brien. Final tackle now as they go flat to Fetu. This time he puts it on the toe, but once again the Auckland chasers not coming through on that one. Possible breakdown in communication, but Fetu doesn't normally put the kicks in. They've been going to Jaden White. And this time they went to Fitu, and it just sort of broke down and looked like Aotearoa was going to the left. So the rest are holding in there at the moment. 36 minutes gone, 4 minutes until half time. And they've only really had that one attacking opportunity in this opening 40 minutes. As Bradford gets the offload to Raymond. Good support play by the Kiwis captain. So 12 metres out, final tackle, looking for a good kick here from Strange. He puts it high, chases are coming through, but Tyler Aotearoa does a good job. And Auckland will bring it back out to the 20 for the restart.
Yeah, that's great composure there by the Cowboys fullback, Aotearoa. He took that ball under a lot of pressure from the rest. Kick chase, probably just not quite shallow enough, that kick from Logan Strange, but showed a much better signs the rest there. They need to keep the Aucklanders in their half here for the last few minutes of this second half and look to maybe get some points or at least just set the groundwork for the second half. They're in this game. They haven't had much ball, they haven't had many opportunities, but it's only 6-0.
Definitely still in this game.
That's
as we see, there is their chance. Exactly, Jack. Auckland making a mistake in the final 2 minutes. So last opportunity of the first half coming up as Bradford will play the ball centre field about 40 metres out. Chris Lord back onto the park for the final minute and a half. I'm not sure if they're going to get deep enough into Auckland's territory. Quiet first half for Damien Moana. In fact, both fullbacks really haven't had many opportunities.
Yeah, the Aucklanders have got up for this last set. They've really manhandled the forwards of the rest. That was a good charge there from Strange, much better, but they've driven them back in just about every tackle. It's been much better from the Aucklanders after that error.
As the pace goes through, and he puts it on the toe. Stace the pace, almost making something out of nothing. In fact, they've held Delaney into the in goal, so they will get one final opportunity. As the siren sounds, no, they won't get an opportunity. We'll go to half time. We'll be back in a second. Back live here at Eden Park for the second 40 minutes in this Aotearoa Origin fixture between Auckland and the rest. As Anthony Delaney gets the second 40 underway. And Jack, what do you have to say about that first 40 minutes?
Look, the Aucklanders were really dominant throughout the majority of that first half. I think that, you know, the rest, they showed some good signs, but they've made some really silly errors, some really inexperienced errors, which I think is weird considering the team that they do have. Obviously, your Thompsons and your Raymonds. I think that in this second half, they just have to play simple footy, get in the grind, force errors out of the Aucklanders, and they'll find points from that. They have to just kick well, chase well, do the little things right, and those big things were happening. Unfortunately, they were just pushing past us a lot in that first half. For the Aucklanders, they were pretty good in that first half. However, I think they probably could have come away with some more points, considering all the field position they had. And they threw a lot at them too. Tyler Aotearoa had some decent runs. I thought Cambolo was quite good. McCartney was busy. Jaden White was exceptional to start the first half. But then Fitu was taking a few of the kicks, which I think probably did let down the Aucklanders a little bit there. But all they've got to do again, like I said, for the rest, is just get in the grind here, and I think that they can come out on top for the rest of this game.
Here's tackle one. He's held there.
So Chance Bunce has come on the park for Bunty Cambolo on the wing for Auckland. Surprisingly, I thought Bunce may have come on for Tyler Amatangi. Mark Hunt has come on as well. Let's see who Mark Hunt's come on for. Looks like David Barner's gone off the park.
Yeah, interesting interchanges there. I would have brought Bunce on at fullback. I think that, as that's a pretty average kick there, I think it was Delaney. I could be wrong though, as we'll have a look at the replay. No, it was the number 7, Jaden White, who had a great first half. I gave him a big rap, but that's a really bad result. But this is a huge chance for the rest. What I was going to say is I think that Chance Bunce coming on at fullback and maybe moving might have been a good little change just to get him some ball. He's fresh, put him up against those tired middles of the rest, and we see what he can come up with. But Aotearoa's the form fullback of the competition, so I can see why they've kept him there.
And also see Aotearoa has made his way onto the park wearing the
He's back.
purple headgear just in the centre of your screen there. One of the fan favourites from Season 1 and Season 2 in the SRL. Obviously retiring from the SRL in Season 2. But back for this one as we see a good opportunity here for the rest as Lord goes close. He'll play the ball about 1.5 metres out. I've got big numbers to the right here, and they do come to the right through Jones. Raymond on the toe, but Ford does well to pick it up. In fact, he gets away from a couple of tacklers. And that's sloppy defence from the rest coming through. And they've really let Auckland off the hook after putting in some really good early pressure on them in the second 40.
Yeah, really poor result there from the rest. I think they could have really set the tone for this first half if they had have got a repeat set there and then come in with some really good attack and just start to try and get some of the wind out of Auckland, because Auckland have all the energy and all of the stamina at the moment. They've had all the running in the first half, but you see they're rolling downfield now. Not a good result for the rest.
Auckland complaining Aotearoa was offside. You can see him put his hands up for a moment. Age getting the best of him as White on the toe, doesn't really connect well enough, comes off the side of the foot by the look of it. Bradford picks it up after juggling it for a moment. So a little bit sloppy from both sides to start the second half. Still 6 points to nil, Auckland leading after that early try in the 5th minute to Nico Aotearoa.
Mish, I want to ask you, considering, I know that you're a bit biased in this department here, but what do you think about Chris Lord playing in the front row? It's really limited his ball playing, which has probably been one of the Cowboys' best assets this season. What are your thoughts on that?
It was an interesting call by the leadership team who make that decision, and I guess the reason was there was only 2 players in the rest that could play prop, and that was Stace DePace and Chris Lord. And so Logan Strange had to play number 13. Secondary position was locked. As we see a good run from Kobe Johnston up through the middle, the former Eels skipper, making some good metres for Auckland. And we'll come back to that, Jack, in a moment as we see Auckland looking to try and go in for their second try. About 5 metres out. Disappointing for the rest after they've had all this opportunity in the first 9 minutes of the second half. Delaney will be taken down after trying to go himself. Tackle 4 here. They'll go to Fetu, who decides to cut back in the inside, trying to test out that left shoulder of Aotearoa. So final one here as Wallace goes deep into the pocket for White. He'll put it far to the right-hand side of the wing to Corey Bell. But Columbus does well. Climbs up high and takes that one down to defuse it.
That was a massive defensive set by the rest. They came up with some huge one-on-one tackles, and that catch from young Columbus was very classy and very experienced. He's very inexperienced, of course, Johnny, but that was a great catch. Showed that he can handle this level.
As we see Chris Lord get a good short ball put into a good gap there. So yeah, coming back to Chris Lord, obviously has been a standout at the Cowboys in that number 13 jumper. But given that the rest had limited selection options in that front row, it meant that Lord had to shift to the number 8 jumper for tonight. Yeah, and then filling that number 13 is Logan Strange. So I guess that's probably the reason behind that. I'm not too sure what the selectors were thinking, but I do know that there was only 2 prop options. to select from as Thompson's going to put that one high, testing the wing of Jai McCartney, who finds himself on that right edge. He does well. The big Warriors 5'8". Looking at Aotearoa earlier on, he looked incredibly slow as he got that sort of half break about a minute or so ago. We'll just keep an eye on him. He could be suffering from a slight niggle as he came away from an earlier tackle with a little bit of discomfort.
Yeah, just to go back on that kick earlier at McCartney, he's the guy they should keep kicking to. He's not experienced in the air. He's played most of his football in the middle in the 13 role or in the halves for South Sydney, of course, at the New Zealand Warriors now. I think that get Columbus trying to take those kicks from McCartney, and I think they can get a result there.
As you just talked about it, Columbus getting around the defence of McCartney quite easily. In fact, McCartney left wandering around that right edge for Auckland, so that'll be concerning times as we have around about 25 minutes remaining. Surely Moana would have recognised that as Columbus got around McCartney, but he's defending on that right edge. We'll keep an eye on him as well. There could be a slight injury concern for McCartney as Thompson throws a dummy.
My boy Luke, he's got to get more involved here. Most of the footy has gone to Delaney, but I think they are starting to figure out how he's kicking us. That's a huge run from Corey Bell, the skipper.
Good return up that far touchline from Corey Bell as Delaney this time decides to take the gap on offer. Steals an extra couple of metres. They go to Fe'u. Long cut-out pass to Aotearoa through the gap. Support play on the inside. Didn't use him. It was Jaden White unmarked on his right.
He doesn't look good, Aotearoa.
As Aotearoa has come away with a slight, he looks to be in discomfort. Jack, if you could keep an eye on that as Hunt goes forward close to the line, about 3 or 4 metres out. Aotearoa does not look good on the sideline. Wallace to the right. White puts it on the toe once again, and Auckland players still not coming through. And the score's going to remain 6 points to 0. But Tyler Aotearoa does not look healthy on the sideline.
Yeah, I've just gone down and spoken to the trainer. It looks like he might have suffered a head knock in that tackle when he made that break. He might have caught the shoulder of the defender, I'm not sure, but I don't think he'll be back tonight.
Not good news if you are a Cowboys fan. A head knock could mean at least 5 or 6 weeks on the sideline. We'll have to wait and see as Maxwell kicks this time. Who's going to be playing fullback for Auckland? It looks like it could be Bunty Kimbolo sort of slotting in there at the moment.
Surely they moved Chance Bunce back there.
That's your second.
We'll wait and see as Wallace goes to White. They go inside to Fe'u, who runs a good line.
He's held there.
Aotearoa looks to have recovered okay. Took him well on the good tackle there. White inside. Kimbolo running a good channel.
Get back, look at me.
Logan Guys took him down. It does in fact look like Bunty Kimbolo slotted back to that number 1 jumper with that injury to Tyler Aotearoa.
Yeah, this is a huge moment for the career of Bunty Kimbolo. He can really show other clubs, just what a prospect he is. He can really put his name forward for a Kiwis jumper if he can get through the rest of this game with a good, strong performance at fullback that he hasn't even played in SRL level before. He's only played wing.
He has, and but like we said, he's had a breakout season so far on that Cowboys left edge. As we see another penalty. So that's one apiece for both sides. I think it was in fact
Kimbolo's first tackle at fullback. Yeah.
Yes.
He made it was a strong break from the rest. I'm not sure he made that run. I think it might have been Damien Moana, and he made a really good tackle, but he held on too long there. Just got a bit excited.
A little bit of inexperience showing through. Aotearoa going to play the ball just to the right of the uprights, about 21 metres out. They'll go to Strange, who charges forward. Big, strong, ranging run from the big number 13, Thompson. Ball in hand, inside the Auckland 10 they go. So this is a really good opportunity for the rest to capitalise. As Strange, second run of the set, he'll charge towards the line. Logan Strange has barged over. What a try for the big 13. We're going to go upstairs to have a look at it. No problems unless the post has got in the way. We'll have to look at this angle. It looks good from here. As the decision is pending and the rest have tried. It's a try to the rest. Logan Strange, the big number 13, sexy number 13, scores. And the rest will look to even it up with Levi Raymond from out in front.
Yeah, look, he's definitely the second best looking bloke on the SRL commission, but that was a great run from him. They really chipped away at the Aucklanders line. They didn't do much ball playing at all in that set. We saw Luke Thompson obviously take a trademark jink at the line, but it was just sheer determination and power. There's a lot of fatigue in this game, and Logan Strange goes over. It's game on now, 6 apiece. How does this affect the teams, both teams' mentalities heading into the last quarter of this match?
So 18 minutes remaining here at Eden Park. The Aotearoa Origin Series. Game 1 of 1 here at Eden Park. What a moment to have this momentous occasion play out in the SRL. Some of the SRL's best from New Zealand. And you touched on it earlier on, Jack. This is arguably a trial for the Kiwi side, set to be announced later on in the season. And these 34 players will be trying to play as well as they can, as Levi Raymond is the second not so good kick of the game as Kumbolo comes away with it. But a little bit of concern there with Levi Raymond not really connecting obviously into the
that's a bad result.
Into the wind in the first half. Yes, forward pass there from Auckland, so that's going to let the rest off after that horrible kick from Raymond.
I wouldn't say a horrible set, but the defence of the Aucklanders was really strong. They obviously got into the huddle there after that try, and the leadership team laid down the law to the other players. They knew how important that was. Kambolo made a good run, a good break following that Levi Raymond miss kick, but then they throw a forward pass out of dummy half, just push the issue. And that was really the issue for the rest in the first half, was just one making a good set, starting to build to something, then making a silly error. So they need to cut that out quickly, the Aucklanders, or the rest might run away with this game.
So under 15 minutes remaining here at Eden Park. You're watching the Simulation Rugby League Premiership on SRL TV. It's the Aotearoa Origin game for season 3. 6-all with 14 minutes remaining. As Barner's hitting a big tackle back on the park after his stint on the sideline. He'll be rejuvenated, ready to go. Right, they go to Fe'u, goes back inside to Barner. Second touch of the set. He's gone close a couple of times already tonight, David Barner. It's Kambolo. Oh, Bunty slow up onto his feet. Really needing lots of energy at the back, Auckland, as the rest look to be on a little bit of a high at the moment as Moana goes through the middle, shrugs off one, shrugs off Kambolo, in fact, twice. So the battle of the fullbacks has been won by Moana at the moment. That's Gronk.
Yeah.
He shrugs off Walker. So the rest, tackle 2. They're only 22 metres out from the Auckland line. This is what they need as Akarangi goes forward, taken down and a good high tackle by Jai McCartney, assisted by Corey Bell as they go flat to Lama. Back on the park, Joseph Lama. 10 out, tackle 4, flat. Oh, Logan, guys, has put it down. Came off his left shoulder. And an opportunity for the rest is gone. Guys coming
really
through, looking to run just run a good angle and Just caught his left shoulder and ricocheted into the hands of one of the Auckland players.
Yeah, that was a really good set from them too. There is a lot as Cambolo gets absolutely smashed there, but there's a lot of fatigue in this game, especially for that man, Cambolo. He is very, very tired at the moment. There's been a lot of extra running at fullback that he isn't quite ready for. I think he's had to make a couple big tackles, so he's really puffing in the big ones. That's their target at the moment, I think. Damien Moana's got around him a few times.
Definitely, I'm surprised we're not seeing Luke Thompson, Levi Raymond put up a few up and unders as Bradford goes through the middle, finds Connor Jones. A great ankle tap from Thomas Wallace, but still, big opportunity here. Strange charges towards the line. Big numbers to the left if they go. They do from Moana, but cut out pass to Bradford. Auckland defence rush on him. It was McCartney who took him down. Slow play the ball. Final one here as they go to Lama, decides to run it. A little bit of an experience there from Joseph Lama, and there'll be a handover.
Yeah, really poor into the set there, but it was an absolute great set. There was a bunch of really good footy, but the desperation from the Aucklanders holds on again. They've been great tonight.
The momentum has definitely changed. It was Auckland all through that first 40 minutes as we see a horrible pass from Jaden White. Has gone forward by about 150 metres. So the rest will pack down about 20 metres out to the right of the uprights. As they go, Moana to Cooper Gronk. Gronk is going to slice through the middle and he'll go just to the right of the uprights. The referee points to the spot and the rest take the lead here at Eden Park.
The rest have been on the back foot almost this entire game. They've come out in this second half. They've made some silly errors, but they've played some scintillating footy in the back end of the fourth quarter of the match. That pass from Jaden White, he threw it all the way to Parramatta, and they come out on the scrum. Cooper Gronk puts in some beautiful footwork, and they're in. They've taken the lead. This has been one of the best contests I've seen in SRL footy for a long time.
Jaden White had such a good opening 40 minutes for Auckland. That opening 20 minutes, in fact, was just scintillating football. But how quickly you can turn from hero to zero. And I'm not sure what happened with the pass. Not slippery conditions. It hasn't rained since 2 p.m. yesterday afternoon. So no problems with underfoot conditions, but that just sort of spilled forward. And so under 7 minutes remaining, it's the rest who take the lead here in Auckland. 12 points to 6.
That's one. Move.
And you have to think they'll be thinking about the one-pointer.
Yeah, get past that just converted try margin. I think the Aucklanders still have a lot of strike, and apart from some silly errors in the back end of this game, they still have been making some good breaks. I think that you look at that last try, and I was thinking about it. I think that if Aotearoa was on the field, I wonder if that still would have been scored. I think that their defensive line just wasn't set the way it should have been with Cambolo's inexperiences. That's not the best kick from Raymond, but the chase is good. But Bell puts on some footwork. He's away.
The captain looking to lift his side in this final remaining 5 minutes. As they go flat to Cambolo, it's a good run from the young rookie, almost getting away from the clutches of Raymond. They stay short side to Johnston. Caught on his heels for a moment. Wallace to Delaney, cut out past Abana, getting through, and the offload back to Wallace.
Barner being back on there is huge for them. He probably should have come on a bit earlier.
Aotearoa play the ball, so final tackle, needing it to go high, deep into the in goal, and White does that. Coming down on the uprights, but a little bit too deep, and Johnny Columbus diffuses that one. Auckland players just not getting up fast enough. And with under 4 minutes remaining here at Eden Park, the rest holding a 6-point lead at the moment. This Aotearoa Origin game, bragging rights at the moment with the rest, but can Auckland, with probably 2 more sets remaining, possibly only 1. Damien Moana has been shot down magnificently tonight. Sailor has Tyler Amatangi. As we see a mistake from the rest, but Auckland won't get that kick return. As we all know, that kick return is the most valuable part of the set.
That's your second.
So possibly not the worst mistake for the rest.
3.
Auckland needing to travel 50 metres to score.
They've only got 2 more plays. That's
No
good
way
defence on
through.
Kimbolo.
Get back.
No way through for Kimbolo. A full 80 minutes for Thomas Wallace here tonight. He continues to bark
He's held there.
at the bottom of the ruck.
Marcus, lock in.
Looking for a quick play the ball, just not getting it at the moment. Delaney kicking, looking to put a bit of pressure on Dan Mitchell. He's had a quiet game so far tonight. Mitchell, former Parramatta Eels SRL player.
Need to force an error here.
A run from Guys through the middle. Thompson, under a minute remaining.
He's held there.
This Aotearoa Origin Series game, a one-off game in fact.
3. Hands away.
What a night it's been. The festivities through the week has been absolutely phenomenal.
Hands off.
Let me tell you, I'd watch a
Albi
3-game
coming out of
series of this.
retirement. 10 seconds remaining. Guys takes it up. And the siren will sound in the background. And it's the rest who get the win here at Eden Park, beating Auckland 12 points to 6. And Jack, what a game.
Mate, this needs to be a 3-game series next season. That was phenomenal. That was so entertaining. I thought that the Aucklanders, they threw a lot at them in that first half, and you know, I think that the rest handled it quite well, and that gave them a lot of confidence, and they came through in the second half. A lot more errors in that second half, but they came through with the result.
Possession pretty even, completions pretty even, errors were pretty even. Nothing really standing out to me. You know, I think the big difference, that injury to Tyler Amatangi in the second half, the start of the second half, that was a big loss for Auckland. Bunty Kimbolo moved back to that fullback position. I was surprised Corey Bell didn't give Chance Bunce a run, who would have had a little bit more energy after coming on a half time, but nevertheless Bunty Kimbolo had a good game and has a big future in front of him. But it was the rest who ran out the winners in this one. And you know, we just have a look at some of these stats. You know, for Auckland in particular, Thomas Wallace running for 227 metres, Turangaho Whetu having a good game with the ball in hand. Amatangi tackles, 31 tackles for Turangaho Whetu, always good on defence. Tyler Amatangi, 5 line breaks, obviously didn't get to play majority of the second half. But, you know, some big numbers there for Auckland. And then we switch to the rest. Connor Jones, 196 metres. Damien Moana having a big game. 11 line breaks for the former Warriors winger. Obviously playing for the Cowboys in the halves this season. But who was your player of the game, Jack?
Oh, it's so hard to pick one. Everyone was phenomenal. I thought that Damien Moana was very underrated in this game. We didn't really talk about him too much, but all of his runs were tough. He made breaks. He was exceptional. I'd like to give a special rap to my boy Luke Thompson. I thought that when Levi Raymond was starting to struggle and they were starting to read what he was doing, he took charge, made some good runs. One of his runs, of course, set up the great try from Logan Strange, who had a very, very strong game as well. I think that overall, both teams should be happy with a lot of their performers. I think Jaden White, he had a great start to the game. Unfortunately, he did start to struggle in the back end there, but when you're out of form, you tend to, I guess, lose out on, once things start not going your way, you lose a lot of confidence and it can affect your performance. I think he'll bounce back from this one, though. He showed a lot of good signs. Yeah. Overall, it's who I would hate to be a Kiwi selector. All 34 of these players, even, you know, of course, some of them are going back into retirement now, but they've all put their names forward for Kiwi honours at the end of this season.
I mean, you talk about those halves combinations of Anthony Delaney and Jaden White, but, you know, I think Levi Raymond and Luke Thompson really got the rest through that game tonight. You know, Levi Raymond only running 97 metres, but, you know, kicking 122, even kicking. But it was Luke Thompson who really steered the ship in that second half for the rest. And as you mentioned, you know, a stalwart for Canberra. and he really stood up in that second half, whereas Jaden White really seemed to struggle in that second 40. 3 errors to Jaden White after that opening 20 minutes blitz, where he almost put on 2 or 3 tries. I think that's possibly the defining part of the game, is the halves combinations.
Yeah, and you know, you look at Luke Thompson and Levi Raymond, they had a pretty slow start to the match, but experienced halves are always just as good in the back end. The back end of games are where experienced halves stand up, and you can see the experience difference between Raymond and Thompson and Delaney and White tonight.
Big numbers there. Hey, thanks for joining me, Jack. It's been a pleasure being in the commentary box with you tonight, and that's all we have time for. Any more final comments about tonight's game or even the upcoming Origin series?
Let's get into that Origin series, baby. Let's beat those Queenslanders. As for this game, I want to see this fixture be a 3-game series along with State of Origin next season. This was awesome to watch.
Awesome. Thanks, Jack. We'll see you soon.
Sweet as.